We start the process 10 days, Yom Kippur. So you have 10 days of starts with Rosh Hashanah. What's Rosh Hashanah? Rosh Hashanah is basically plugging in, connecting, coming back home. Yom Kippur is already taking over whatever is not needed. Yom Kippur is you have a lot of negativity, a lot of trauma that you're schlepping along, a lot of jealousy and a lot of hate and a lot of a grudge and the comments and everything that all wishful thinking about nesting a dog, and you have to throw it away. It is hayoim. There's hayoim kamtsena hayom tevachsena. What's this thing of hayoim? When you start off the world, it's hayoim. When you end the world, is hayoim. Hayoim we call it shmon and hayoim arasoilam. And then you have ki hayoim hazeh yichaper. Hayoim means if you live the day as if today is the last day. Is this important? Is this your essence? Is that you itself? So let's work on this for a second. What does that mean? You're crowning Hashem as a king, and then we'll go to Yom Kippur. When a person gives, they give. If you can't give yourself, so you can give you from your pocket. You can give from your wallet. But the best thing is when you give yourself over, when you give yourself away, when you commit it totally yourself, not your essence is committed, not your deeds, but the whole essence. So let's work this out for a second. You have a Hashem. Hashem, when he's a toiv and a meitiv, he's good and he's also meitiv. He gives goods to others. Now, when a person, you have to choose in order to do good. If a person would come in this world and he'd be like a pre-programmed computer and work like a chaya, like an instinct that the animals have, you don't get credit for that. You don't get credit for doing. So if somebody was born good with a good nature, he doesn't get credit for that. That Hashem did. The question is, what do we have? And the only thing we have is our ratzon, our wishes, our desires, what we want. That's who we have. And if you want to choose me, then that's malchus. Otherwise, it's a moishel. Hashem is a dictator, chas v'shalom. He tells us that we have to do it. No, Hashem says the mitzvah that encompasses all mitzvahs, and you'll see that uzuchatim is kol mitzvahs Hashem v'asisamois, and you remember all the mitzvahs and you will do them. That's tzitzis, and tzitzis is not obligatory. Only if you have four corners, you have to put on tzitzis by day. But if you don't want to wear four corners, the Torah never says you have to wear tzitzis. Why is that? Hashem says, I want you to choose me. That's Malchus. The ikka point of Malchus, I need you to choose me. If you choose me, then it's your incentive, then it's your wish, it's your desire. Oh, then we have a relationship. I want you to connect. I need you to come home, not because I forced you to come home, not because it's die to come home, because no, I want you because you want to come home. Not I don't need your schar, I don't need your Haba. I just want you. This connection, that's a true everlasting connection. So when a Yid does Avera after that, we tell the Yid, no, your essence is kosher, your essence is pure, your essence is good. The only thing is you have a few layers that we have to clean off. So the first thing is come home, give me your essence, and then Yom Kippur, you have 10 days to clean yourself off, and the Itzuma Shel Yom Mechaper, the Etzim of Yom Kippur is Mechaper. Why? Hashem's love to us is a lot more than when we love Him. And it starts off because you choose the Jewish nation with love, and therefore it's v'haftas Hashem alekecha. So there's two basic mitzvahs, fundamental mitzvahs. There's v'haftas Hashem alekecha, and there's v'haftas l'recha kamoicha. There are two mitzvahs, beinod l'mokim, beinod l'chaveda. And I'll get back to what we started a second ago, but I just want to segue into this. There's two seirim on Yom Kippur. This is the whole avodah in Musaf. We spend like an hour, mamish an hour, on the avodah of the kahanim and everything else. And what is the essence of the whole avodah? And then let me throw another question. Where does Asura Haruga Malchus come in? Okay, a Tisha B'Av, it's a day that we remember all the tragedies, the major tragedies. Where does it come to Yom Kippur? The two Seirim. So let's ask more questions a little bit, just to create a question to just intrigue us to want to know. and you go to Kodesh HaKadoshim, and the main tefillah that we say, that we read, what happened when he's Yotzim Kodesh, and he said a tefillah, and that's the gewaldige tefillah. Wow, the Marakoyin, wow, what's the essence when he goes out and he makes a tefillah? Didn't he daven inside? What is the command daven? Do you davening inside? That's what Kodesh HaKadoshim. Asach the month after you, like, oh, I forgot this on my list. I think no, that's not what it is. And why one day a year, the holiest day, you go to Kodesh HaKadoshim? What was that day? What happened that day? It was the 40th day of the third time, 40 days. Moshe Rabbeinu comes down with the luchos because Vayemer Hashem, Solachti Kidvarecha. I forgave Kidvarecha. Would he forgive totally? No, no. So again, we have the two Seirim. One is Seir Hashem, one is Seir Azozim. One gets sacrificed in the base of Mikdash. One is taken up to the big mountain, and it's a whole procedure. It's a whole Tanaram with lots of humming and a ganze noise, a ganze Geschichte there. And then you throw him down, you push him down, and he to smithereens, mamish to pieces, mamish. So he's smashed up and he's totally done away with. And then you have to go to Nodafka Kodesh HaKadoshim. And then when he comes out of Kodesh HaKadoshim, that's the big thing, the big tefillah that we mentioned in the Musaf. What's going on here? So Chazal teaches, and we know that from the Psukim also, but I just want to reiterate. I want to just chazer over. There are two Avedas that Hashem says you're going to pay and pay and pay. Uviyom Pakadati, there come the day of reckoning. In other words, the Gemara says there's no piroin, there's no pironis, I'm sorry, there's no pironis that goes without a drop of the pironis. In other words, in every cocktail, so has negative, so every concoction, I throw in two Avedas always. What's the two essential Avedas? Again, one ben Adam Lamokim, one ben Adam Lachaveda. Sir Hashem, ben Adam Lamokim, Sir Lazozel, ben Adam Lachaveda. What are the two Avedas that we have to be Mitzaper on Yom Kippur? What is the essence of these Avedas? Ben Adam Lamokim, Lachaveda. But what are the Avedas? Oh, right after Har Sinai, and you betray Hashem. That's the Egel. I'm going to always remember that, and you'll always pay for it slowly. Well, the other option is to annihilate the whole Jewish nation. The second, no, we're not going to do that. We'll do it slowly. So, a little bit patchy, a little bit pain, a little bit suffering, but you'll be able to withstand and you'll be able to sustain yourself. So again, what's the first thing when Adam looking? Teta Egel. That totally broke everything. That's crashed the whole system. What's the other thing? Mechiras Yosef. The brothers want to kill their brother and they sell him to slavery. So you have the Lashonis Zahidus, right? That's the same Mishkal of two Sloim, and that's the same exact like by Yosef Tzaddik. So it's remembering that, and you take it and you throw it down the mountain. What's the significance of that with the Kodesh HaKadoshim? This whole procedure of Yom Kippur. The only one that wasn't Chayte, that didn't sin, was selling his 10 brothers. Even Yosef was at fault. Yosef triggered them. Yosef, in a sense, he provocated the whole thing. Chas v'shal, the fact that he spoke bad, he spoke ill of them. And Yaakov was at fault also because Yaakov, the Gemara says, Lo'ilam, never differentiate between brothers, because Yaakov made a special Kesoidus Pasam for Yosef, and that triggered the whole story of Mechiras Yosef selling their own brother, their own flesh and blood, with the Avol Hashem and Nachnu, with Shamanu. They heard that Tzolus Achinu, and they just neglected him and they ignored him, and they with venom. Where does that come from? The jealousy. So everybody was involved. There's only one person who wasn't involved, that Binyamin. And therefore, Binyamin, okay, the Heichel also, but the Heichel is not the main part. The main part is Kodesh HaKadoshim, where the Shekhinah spoke to Moshe, where the Shekhinah was. That was Kodesh HaKadoshim, the most intense place in this planet. And the central point, the focal of the whole planet, the essential part of the planet is Kodesh HaKadoshim, and Binyamin, Heichel and Kodesh HaKadoshim wasn't the chelik from Binyamin, and the rest was for primarily of Yehuda. Now Yehuda was mabetzik in arges achina v'chisinas dome lechuvenim kren leishmaelim. Yehuda doesn't want to get his hands dirty like David HaMelech got his hands dirty and he couldn't build a base of English. Yehuda says, let's not get our hands dirty. Let them do the job, the black work. I mean, it's in English, not black. Toner Rabota means, the low work, the thing that nobody wants to do. Let them do it. Let the Ishmaelim do it. They're very good at it. There's no evidence everyone left their grip. So once we sell them to to Mitzrayim, Yishmaelim, and then eventually to Mitzrayim, he'll never make it up to be number one king. King, not only king, he won't be a regular citizen. He'll be a Eved Kanani. He'll be a nobody. So in other words, the mere fact they sold him, and we're still suffering till today. And that's our son of the 10 righteous sages that were killed, including Rebbe Kiva, because he was a ger. So sort of Hashem says, they participated and they included Hashem as a minion, as the 10th person, and because Reuven was and in the sense that Hashem says somebody's gonna, you know, take my fault as well. And Rebbe Kiva took it upon himself, and he said his whole lifetime he wanted to represent Hashem and be his extension, and finally he was zoich. Hashem chose him that he should take the pain for Hashem. So that was like I waited my whole life to be the chosen one, not the chosen to have an easier, lavish life, the chosen one that Hashem trusted me with that mission to sacrifice myself for Hashem's sake, to cover up Hashem's busha, to cover up the Chil Hashem. So we have two seir. One is seir Hashem, that's to cover up the. Now you need both, because those Jews that say I'm good Beinod Lachveda, but I'm not good Beinod Lamokim. Well, you're missing, and those Jews are Beinod Lamokim, but they couldn't care less of Beinod Lachveda. Those people also missing, and Hashem says, if you hurt one of my kids, you're not my friend. I'm sorry. You hurt one of my kids. That you're making it personal now. Personal, you're going to get it from me. No, you're not my friend. Because you're saying is that you care about yourself. So I want to get to this topic for 1 second. A person, a person says, "What do you mean? My chumras, he's so involved. Now is going to come sukkahs. Now coming sukkahs with arba minim. With my esrig, my lul, that spits for Hodo Sheba Hodo Mamish. You think Hanukkah Mahadim? This is Mamish, and people, they'll spend all the money in the world and they'll say, "Well, what do you mean? I love the mitzvahs." Hashem says, "You really love me? What about my kids? You don't care about my kids. I don't know if you love me. I don't know if you really love me." So this is a very, very strong point over here. Just a little story, I remind you. Remember the story? The guy used to take people rides every day for an hour. He would ride the streets of Yerushalayim and go to every place where people wanted a tramp, they wanted a hitch, and he would take them. He had his big 8-passenger grubber Jeep, and he would stuff in all the 8 seats, and then he would go and he would come. You were just that way. Oh yeah, I dropped them off. Anybody need a ride this way? He couldn't care less, and he put door to door service, and they asked him, "What, you don't have what to do?" He said, "No, it's not that I'm a successful businessman, and I have this dira, this big villa, and I had like a yichidot in the bottom. From the one side of the street, it's like a basement, but if you go from the side, it's like a walk-in. It's mamish karka level, right? It's a ground floor, and I had a few yichidot. So that's it. I wanted people to come to me for Shabbos or whatever." And then I found a homeless person, an old man, and his eyes were very kind, and I felt that. And I said, "Did you eat anything?" And he said, "No." I ran right there. I stopped the car. I pulled over. I got him a falafel, and I got him a drink, and a few tissues, and I said, "Are you?" And he's so thankful. I said, "Wow, this is a precious person." It's just he fell on hard times. So I asked, "Where do you hang out?" He says, "I'm here every day." And he came back the next day and he bought him more food and he went to the grocery and he got a liking towards the person. He said, "You know what? Where do you sleep at night?" He says, "On the bench." "What do you mean? I'm homeless." "How long?" "Oh, for many years. I'm homeless. I can't even remember. I'm an old man already. And how many years I'm homeless?" So he says, "Come to my house." He took him to the house. Took him into one of those one room apartment with a shower and a sink. and all the towels and the soaps and the shampoos, and he helped him wash up, and he got him clothing, and he said, why do you have to go in the streets? Come here's it's cold, it's cool in the summer, it's warm in the winter. I've got a bunch of yechidot. One of them is going to be for you. You can live here, no rent, nothing, all free. And every day he sent them 3 meals with snacks. He always had a microwave, and he had a fridge, and he had a stove, man, a toaster. He had everything that he needed, and he used to bring food. His kids would bring down the portions, ready, hot cooked meals. It was gewaldic. And the guy felt that he's not he's going to die. So he calls and he says, "Can I see you?" And he said, yeah. He said, I wish I could pay you back, but I have nothing to pay you back. This last year, I lived such a beautiful life with such warmth. I never had anybody. He never got married. Nobody wanted to do a shidduch with me. And his parents died, Holocaust survivors. God, he had nothing. And he was bereft of family, community, life, nothing. You went and you took me, you gave me 1 year of total Gan Eden, mamish. I wish I could pay back, but I can't pay back. What should I can't pay you back? But I'm gonna try in Shemayim. I don't know if I have any credit, but I suffered a lot. So maybe if I suffer, maybe I could daven for you. And the guy says, no, keep all your some of your suffering to yourself. Hashem gave me such a beautiful life, a beautiful wife and children. Everybody's happy. I've got money. I have health. I have everything. I'm nachas. Can't complain. Every drop of your schusim, please. It was my pleasure. He said when he lost his father and his grandfather, he never, now he feels, he the father he didn't have the last few years, he feels he invested. The grandfather he didn't have, he invested. It was all my pleasure. You don't have to pay me back, please. Kitsa. So the guy says, but for it something. So he says, look, if you want to come down and tell me that you're all okay, that's me. Like when you get home, give me a call that you're okay. That would be the only thing. Victor, the guy came with him. I don't know how many weeks or months, but he came with him in a dream, and he says, "I want to tell you one thing. All I can't tell you what goes on in mind, but I can tell you one thing. As a president for Gedaven, for Gebeten, I not Gedaven. I begged them to let me come down because I want to tell you this one thing. You daven every day, 3 times a day, and you have your daf yomi, and you learn, and you do. You're a nice guy. All in all, pretty good. I want to tell you something. There's so much pneus, there's so much interest in this and that. It's very difficult to do a mitzvah l'man Hashem 100%. But the chesed that you do, and the chesed you did for me, you have no idea what kind of schus you have. I mean, Shemayim, they're just delighted. You scored so many points that you took in an old man, a homeless person. You have no idea because when it comes to chesed, they don't judge anybody. You can do it almanas this, almanas that, for all conditions. You help the person physically, spiritually. It's like winning with flying colors. So the point is, he said, "Oy bazoi." I go around every day with the car. Maybe I'll find another homeless. Maybe I'll find somebody that needs. And I look around, and the while I didn't find somebody that really needs my help. So I take hitches. I take people. I try to enlighten 1 hour a day. My lunch hour. This is my hana. I ate lunch for 5 minutes, and then I go and I did my lunch hour. Go around and try to help out people because chesed is more than anything. It scores more points than anything because everything else you might mean yourself. Many people with all the chumras demean themselves. When you come to Chesed to Nachayid, that's worth points, even if you mean yourself. That's so pure, even if me, because the person has a no. You mahana another yid, you give a yid a no, you give a yid pleasure. That's all. You take away some pain from a yid, from anybody in the world. There's nothing higher than that. There's nothing purer than that. There's nothing kinder than that. Okay. The issue with in Judaism, there's one of the most fundamental, achievements in Judaism. And the Gemara says, "Ein lecha ben chorin elemi shoisig b'Torah." Becoming free, truly free, is so essential to Judaism. There's nothing more important than freedom. Droi rikra lebein bas, we sing on Shabbat. Krosim droi ba'oretz l'chol yeshveh, by Yovel. And in Washington, that is now no New Testament, Old Testament. In other words, our Bible, our Torah, that's the words in Washington. What's so important about freedom? What do I care freedom? What's wrong with it? The point of freedom is, you see, the whole thing, we spoke about this many times. I just want to chazar over for a second. A free person can choose what he truly wants to be, who he truly is. Many times people think I'm the bad guy. No, Hashem says, I know better. I made you. Your essence is pure and holy. Your essence is so beautiful. And only it takes one to know one. Only a person that's truly kind and look into your eyes and say, Oi, it's all b'shogeg. Hilcholom b'shgoga. And therefore, v'nislat choladas b'nei Yisrael. And even the Avaryonim, the no goodniks, the bums, the lowlifes, bring them in because not, it's a day that you can throw away all the extra negative baggage today. And you come in and you stand side by side, the richest and the poorest, and the best and the worst, and the most righteous and the most not righteous. And you say that, no, no, your essence is Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. You have three fundamental ovis and the mois. That's the number seven, the full number. You have no idea. You have no idea how special, how precious. You see, if there's one message, if there's one message to come into Yom Kippur, the day in itself is Mecha. What do you mean? How could a day? What is a day? It's nothing. What's a day? It's a fake thing. It's this world. In the real world, there's no day. There's a symbol of day when it's good, when you're delighted. The essence is Kadosh Baruch Hu is the best businessman in the world, man, woman, everything. He wouldn't invest in the Jewish nation if he wouldn't feel that it's worthy. If it's not worthwhile, he won't do it, not for a second. He has an infinite amount of ways to get rid of them and exchange them. And he says, no, the whole world should I that the Jews aren't worthy. And more than all the people in the world, the Jews scream they're not worthy. You just go around us. You go from the Belarusians down west to the Poles. You go a little down south. You go to the Slovakians, and the Hungarians, and the Romanians, and Moldavians. Everybody screams the chosen. And if these guys scream the chosen, you go further to Germany and France, they'll say, what, you're chosen? France is we're the chosen. And then you go to Italy, down there to Italy, they'll say, what are you talking about? We're the chosen. And the Greeks aren't chosen. Who's not chosen? You think the guys there in Turkey don't think chosen? They think today they're chosen. And the Emirates and the Saudis, they're not chosen. They think they're chosen people. And they can't stand that the Jew is not Nispol. So they hate the Jew. The essence of a Jew is not Nispol. What's licking the Jew that Hashem says, after thousands of years, I don't go bankrupt. No, I'm sticking to my guns. No, this is my nation. I'm not exchanging for anything. Who's Marasi? You cannot change it for no money. What is it in the Jew that Hashem says, I'm not going bankrupt? Hashem says, if you would see what you really are all about, if you would see your essence, then you have no idea. You have Avram, you have Yitzchak, you have Yaakov, you have Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. It's such a beautiful Yisoid. The essence is so beautiful. The foundation is so beautiful. And when you and Hashem says, Itzuma Shel Yoyim, what's the Itzuma Shel Yoyim? I love you so much that I'm just come in and stay with me, spend this time with me. I'll clean you out, even if you can't. I'll take the homeless sinner and bring you in and I'll clean you out. You have no idea. It's worth it for me to invest everything and create a whole world just for you. So what is it that he wants from us? First of all, he wants to take off the baggage. So you have to Maver Midosav. What's Maver Midosav? Maver Midosav is somebody that goes to all the stores where I owe money, and he goes and pays off all the chayvis, all the debts. I owe thousands of dollars in this store, thousands, hundreds of thousands. I don't know where to start from. I'm just overwhelmed. And this guy goes and says, take it easy. It's all on me now. And he cleans out every chayv. That's Mavel Midosav. And when you're Mavel Midosav, Hashem says, you took care of one of my kids. You paid my son's, my daughter's bills. That's it. All that, the whole mishpat, the whole thing, something. Get out of here. I don't want to see you. You got me kidding. You want to talk bad about my kids? This guy went and helped my kids. Told me there's something wrong with my kid. That doesn't help me. Tell me that you fixed the problem. Tell me that you helped them out. Tell me you took the bushes away from them. They were so low, and you covered the bushes. You made them feel part of society. Tell me that, and then you score a million points. You score a home run. So when somebody wants freedom because I want to choose who I really, who who am I in my essence, and who do I choose? So here's the shaila. You have Nahama de Chisuf, right? We spoke about it dozens of times. What's Nahama? Nahama is bread, the Chisuf of bushes. If you're a beggar, go to every organization and they give out to almonis and they'll give out to Yisoimim and they give out to the needy. What do they get on the menu? You think they're like first class, that they have a whole list and they can choose what? No, beggars can't be choosing. So the organization says, as much money as the sponsors gave me, that's as much as I can give you. No, I can't give you caviar. The black caviar. I can't give you the fancy stuff. Why? All those rib steaks and all the tongue. I can't give you all the fat. I don't even know what's the gute Sachen. You have to go to some bris and you have to go to some wachnach with these boards of meat. I don't know them. What can I do? I grew up my father's house. You know what I'm saying? That didn't strike any points. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. The the person says, "I'm sorry, the sponsors only gave me this much, and I can only share this much. I wish I could." Just imagine, just imagine. You get sponsors that take a book from their bank account, limitless, just limitless, and they tell the organization, "Here, here's 1,000 checks. Just if you need more, just call up. I'll give you as many boxes of checks." And here, all of them were signed, pre-signed. I don't know if there's such a word, signed in advance. Just write in the number and cash it. So take this. You have to give out $1 million to each chassan. You have to give a deed. That would be not beggars aren't choosers. But if you're a beggar and you get for free, I'm sorry, you're not going to get the fancy. So you walk into this restaurant. This is the chesed restaurant. This is the guy that does chesed when he marries off a kid. So what do? He's got the table for the aniyah, right? Because you have to feed aniyah. So you have the table of the richies. They get the wow. And the aniyim get what the kiddie portions, the fish sticks with the dust, French fries and whatever. If you're if you're named as a sufa, if you have bread of nebuch of shame, then you come in and you're a beggar. You don't get to choose. You're not mechubed. You're the poor guy. Say thank you that this guy from that table paid for your portion. Are you going to scream at him that he didn't give you what you wanted, like what he has? No, badanish. Some decency. So what din means that you earned it. Rachma means you didn't earn it. You're a beggar. Now, a tzaddik is the mishpatim with din. He has to pay full price. Why? So the tzaddik should say, you know what? Forget it. I'm out. I'm out. I'm signing. I'm sorry. I'm canceling my monthly whatever subscription. Why? Because I see this guy's not suffering. But we tell the tzaddik, you want to be a beggar like him? No, no, no. I'm prestigious. I'm the sponsor, the receiver. I'm not the taker. I'm the giver. So if you're the giver, so you want to earn it fully and you can be worthy, where does that come from? We have a guilty conscience. I don't want to be a beggar. I want to come in and you should serve me, not because you do me a favor, because I paid for it. You're my client. I'm your client. You have to provide. You have to give your services. Not please that I do please because I'm a cultured person. I don't. No, I paid you fully and I gave you the 40 cents tip. Everybody pays 50% tip. I gave you 40% tip. I gave you 50% tip. I gave you 100% tip. You should really act nice to me. In the sense, I'm not talking about the arrogance part of it. I'm talking about the thing you don't want to feel like a beggar. So when somebody has freedom, then he can choose. And if he chose, it's him. If I didn't, I can't choose because I'm a beggar, but I'm not a beggar. I can choose. Somebody comes to Yom Kippur and says, "Whoa, what if they is mere? If I won't do this, if I won't ask for forgiveness, Hashem won't forgive me. I have a terrible year." No, that's a beggar. That's Golos cup. If somebody comes to Yom Kippur and davens only for himself, that's a beggar. That's a beggar. That's a Golos cup. That's not Gula. It's Golos. It's totally exile. It's thinking about the here and now, what's on your plate. You can't see the bigger picture. But if you come into the Bnei Shalom and you say, I don't care. It's not about me. It's all about you. Void Shemayim. It's about the klal. It's about to fix the Aveda of Yosef, of the brothers selling out Yosef to the dogs, throwing them away. Go there. Go to Shechem. I don't know. Go look for something, but not here. Just whatever you want to do, just don't do it here. If that's the case, then like David HaMelech, nobody suffered more than David HaMelech. Like the Midrash says that the Yeshaya thought him, considered him like a mamzer. You're not part. He didn't look like everybody. Everybody was so handsome. Seven brother, all handsome. He was curlied up, and I don't know, like wild, like a street thug. Yishai threw him out of the house to the bears. Yes, the Midrash says he threw him to the lions, so the lions ate him up because it can't be my son. So ki ovi ve'imi azavuni, my parents dropped me, they left me to the lions. And Vashem Yasvein, Hashem brought me, gathered me in. And he said, "No, David, you're not a mistake. No, I've got a big future for you. I've got a great plan for you." And Hashem brought it back. So when a person, don't sell yourself short. That's the main message. Think big. Think about the Void Shemayim. Think about that when I need my freedom because I have to choose you, Hashem. That's Malchus. I choose you. Not because I'm afraid, not because I have anything to gain, not because I have anything to lose. I choose you. I'm a free, human being. Now, why am I free? Because, see, let me just backtrack for 1 second. Why do I have a guilty conscience? Take away my guilty conscience, then I'll take presents like a little kid and I'll be happy. No, Hashem says, you'll never get away from that guilty conscience. Why? Because you're a chilik elikamemal, you're a part of me. You're made of the same material as me. I just took one part of me and gave it away and said, go out there and try and enlighten the world and be my extension, be my representative there. So Hashem doesn't want freebies. He wants things for free. So you're never going to be happy with getting things for free. It's a kiddie thing. You get for 5 minutes, you're happy, and then you feel empty. The only way you can be happy is being like the creator, the creation like the creator. You have to create and you have to provide and you have to protect and you have to give and think about the bigger picture. You want Shem Shemayim, the name of Hashem, the Shem Havaya, which is Hoya Hoya. He made everything happen. He makes everything, and he will make everything happen. That's the shame of Rachman. You want that name, that's the Shlosh Midas that we say 26 times, Shlosh Midas throughout this Yom Tov. We're trying to provide the world with this Rachman, Rachman v'chanun, and it's Erech Hapayim. He's slow to anger. He's not so nervous. He's not so tense. It's like a balsam just to calm everything and everybody down and to say, everybody, I've got you back. We have Hashem here. Don't worry so much. Muna. He believes in us. And if you think that, no, this is a bad guy, he's always a boy that begins in his stories. He goes into the depth and he says, you know what this guy went through? Don't judge him. You have no idea. Don't judge him. So, and when a person his essence is like Hashem doesn't want a freebie, and we don't want a freebie. And when we choose good, and we choose Hashem, and we choose to be His, that's the essence of Yom Kippur. Not so much myself, the klal. V'yeda kol pulkiata palti. V'yoven kol yitzurikati yitzarti. Look at the translation, whoever doesn't understand. V'yoyim kol asher yishom ba'apa Hashem elokei Yisrael melech. Everybody. If you get that, if you have everything. So comes Yiddelach. I just heard this, I said it over every year from Rabbi Lau. It turns out that the colony is way before the times of the Spanish. Look, maybe. I given. Was I? But I heard this probably 30 years ago from Rabbi Lau, Rabbi Shlomo Lau. He survived the Holocaust, used to be president of Yad Vashem and the chief rabbi. Yeah. So his father was born in Lvov, by the way. So that's my connection that I had with him. He was like my mentor for many years, uh, 93 to 2003. And then whenever I saw him, but then I used to meet him quite often. So Rabbi Lau said, I forgot from which Mefarshim, he said they went into the cellars, into the basement, betoich basement. And they sort of had this, like secrecy, and they had this pipe going up with some air. And they would put a little candle, not much, and they would go in and say to Bainishla, please forgive us. The whole year we pledge allegiance to their, Chas Shalom, L'havdil elef havdalos, to their belief. But Rebbeinu Shalom kol nidrei ve'sorei v'shua charomi v'koinomi v'chinusei v'kinui, everything, and this charatna. Please, the whole thing's the Gorish. Whatever we told them that we're loyal to them, it has not, Yedea Talumais, the hidden things. Uh, 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 the one that tests what our essence is and what we really believe. With inside who we really are, that we're yours. You know that we're loyal only to you. Nothing with that to do with them. We're just afraid they'll kill our wives and children, and we can't leave it. Rabbeinu Shalom, please forgive us on all the vows. Sorry. So it was a special moment for all the Jews of all times, because it was the time you came to Yom Kippur and you said to Rabbeinu Shalom, I'm really yours. I pretended the whole year I'm everybody's. I'm the money. I'm the Savoy or that avoid. No, no, I'm really yours. The essence of me is really yours. And please cleanse me today so I can represent you much better. I let you down. Please give me another chance. So the Vilna Goyen says, Yarav Kamota Liksi. That's an Azinu. Just for a second. Yarav Kamota Liksi. Yarav Zol Trappen. It should drip Kamota like rain. Lifti my Toida. Kilekach Toim Nesadchem. It's the best transaction. It's the best deal. So the Lekach is called Toida. Whatever, Toida is like rain. Whatever you plant, that's what you get. You plant potatoes, you're not going to have oranges. You're not going to have apples. If you put a horse in that bed in the morning, you'll have a horse. You put a donkey on that pillow in the morning, whatever you plant the night before, that's what you get in the morning. If the guy is nervous, crazy, gets up in the morning, nervous, crazy. No, I'll sleep it over. You have to deal with the issues. You have to grow, growth mode. Whoever's not in growth mode is so if a person says Yom Kippur, I'm going to take upon Torah, first take upon the first thing is not only Benodim Lamokim, but Benodim Lachaveri. That's when Yom Kippur is not even Matzap if you don't fix that up. Benodim Lachaveri. It's so important. If somebody's affair and somebody acts so obnoxious, so rigid, so unfriendly, no teamwork, and he learns more, he'll be a lot worse, because Torah, it grows by leaps and bounds. Torah energizes you. Torah gives you the knowledge. Knowledge is power. Torah gives you the growth mode But if you're growing a negative person, you'll be a lot more negative. Your judgment will be a lot more judgmental. So that's why Benon Chabad is very important. And also, we can't shoot the deity, the koyach, the power that's giving us everything. I can't take Hashem's ammunition and shoot him, chas v'shalom. So, Yilot Chateshi, Vashishkach Kein V'Chalecha, we said it many times. You know, the famous, with the Dubna Magid, the guy that he had the mafia on his back, and they want 1,000%. I can pay back the chayiv, but I can't pay back all that ransom. It comes out to ransom because they want 100%, and every day another percent, another percent. By the time I have to pay them back, I have to pay them 1,000 times more than what I borrowed from them. I said, so his friend gives him an eight to play Meshugana, and Meshuggah doesn't have what's going on, and try. That's it. What could you do? What could you do? So he played Meshuggah, and the court said the guy is insane. Forget it. Send him to Bellevue. Bellevue said, "We don't. This is Meshuggah. I can't even have it in Bellevue in a mental asylum." So they threw him out. And if they just so now he's all crazy. Now he's all crazy. They said, forget it. They have enough money. They don't need this $100, and now they charge him now $10,000. So now he goes and borrows money from his friend, and his friend gives him the $100. And when he comes to collect the money, he starts dancing like a meshug, and his friend says, "Hey, this number won't work with me. Why not? Because I gave you the seitzah. You see, now it turns out you're a dumb person. Because if you had a little seichel, you remember who gave you the eitzah. You don't even remember I gave you the eitzah. I was the one that gave you the eitzah. What do you mean? It's recorded. What do you mean? It's on video. Oh, I'm going to take that to the judge, and then you're done. Now you're going to pay the you can end up going to jail because you fooled the judge. You are under oath. Now you're going to pay $100,000. So he Schnell went and gave him back his $100. Tzuri lot chateshi. I gave you forgiveness. I'm sorry, forgetfulness. But tishkachil chalecha. Hashem says, I want to, I want to take away your pain. So I don't. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna. I created the person. There's a thing of tshuva. There's a thing of tshuva. What is tshuva? You can return, and I'll forgive you. So what do? You take this, and in order to be tshuva, I created a thing of forgetfulness. In other words, Hashem really remembers. He remembers all forgotten things. But I'm going to give it to you so you can copy me, emulate me, and forgive somebody else. I'm going to downsize the pain. So within a while, you won't have the pain, and you'll have it within you, the wherewithal to forgive him. So what do? You go against, and you don't forgive it. The thing, I have to say this little incident because it's painful. There was somebody in yeshiva. It's too late. I didn't even start. Okay, let me concise it. There was somebody in yeshiva. Uh, he was a Spartan guy, and they turned him into the yeshiva's clown. They berated him. They downgraded him. They belittled him ad l'shol tachtas. They made so much fun of him. They all laughed at him. They pushed him around. His nerves weren't that to begin with, and he had a nervous breakdown. He had a nervous breakdown that had to put him to mental home, and he doesn't look how he's on pills and he's on medicine. He couldn't control himself anymore, and his parents lost a child, and his family lost a sibling, and it was awful, awful, very awful. And the Bochum found out, and the doctor said, "These guys have blood on their hands. They just murdered a person. He's a young kid. He could have a beautiful life. It's not for these return." So they didn't know what to do. They went to the Rebbe. They cried. What should they do? So he went to Rabbi Elyashiv, and Rabbi Elyashiv said, "What could they do? Who asked them to be such a rishon, such a ritzicha? Yeah, but they're under 18, ritzicha mamish, murderers, murderers, rotfe." And he said, "You have to wait till the bacher dies, and then you take a minion to the caver." And his neshama then will chop what's going on, so you can ask forgiveness. But now he doesn't chop what's going on, so you can't even ask forgiveness. So they said back, "What are you gonna do?" But he's a young kid. He's a healthy kid. He might live to 100. He might die after they die. So Rabbi Yasha said, "Who asked you to be such a ritzeach? Who asked him to be such a ratzchim?" It's awful. But let's go. We want to talk about forgiveness because Hashem should forgive us. So I want to remind you a little story that I don't know why I want to say it now, but it came into I don't know. I don't remember the details. I heard the story, I don't know, 20 years ago, maybe more. I don't know. You can remember it. Those are I'm just reminding you. It was, if I don't get the points right, I want to just let's remember the gist of the story, not so much the detail. If I get it wrong, I don't remember exactly. I think there was a Anikel. The girl went with her grandfather in the street, something like that, and he walks him, and he was so robust, and he was so full of life and enthusiastic, and he was makdim shalom to everybody. I mean, everybody, literally everybody, with such a beautiful smile smiling in his eyes, fired up. And he gave such physics to everybody. And then this one time he's walking and he sees a person and he's like looks down and he's barely nods his head, no smile, no smile with the eyes, no shalom aleichem, no good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no good yom tov, like none of that. And his daughter, his Anikel, his grandchild, she looks at him, she says, Zaidi, are you okay? He says, yeah. He says, but you weren't. I don't know. You were very like down. He says, what are you talking? I just saw that you barely nodded your head to this guy that walked by. Yes. A second later, somebody walks by. Salam aleichem. How you doing today? You're looking good. And she says, like you didn't do that to that guy. Look, that guy that crossed the street. Who? That old man. Oh, he says, never mind. She says, no, 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 no. Kitsa, he loved her too much not to tell her, and she slept it at it. So he says, this guy, Kitsa, he worked for a whole year. He took all his savings, all the gold that he had, and the diamonds he had from Yerusha, and all that he worked very hard. And he took all his money, and he made himself, documents for the passports and the visas, all the documents needed to be able to, and bribe everybody till he gets the documents, convert the money, and he put it all together. He finally has the right documents to escape and to get out, officially legally to get out of the Holocaust right at the beginning and to America. And he had his best friend, his Chavrus in yeshiva. And his Chavrus saw him so excited. He told him, today, Baruch Hashem, I worked the whole year now. He said, what, you going to America? He says, yeah, Baruch Hashem. I told you many times. I mean, yeah, but I didn't have the documents. Wow. So where's the documents? He said, I hid it. But you got to make sure somebody might take it. He says, "Why should somebody take it? I didn't tell anybody. I mean, you're not going to tell you're my best friend. No, no. But the thing is that you. And what happens if you forget when you put it tomorrow? It's good to tell somebody. You can trust me. You know me. So he told him where he put it by that tree under the ground. There's a big metal box and there's garbage. It's out of everybody's eye and there's a lot of schmatas there and materials and he told him that he's leaving when? Tomorrow. So tomorrow, after Shabbos, he'll go to that place, he'll take it out, he'll put it, he already has a special pocket he made himself to put it in and then close the zipper. He comes tomorrow and his whole family is excited and everybody, hackle buckle. That means grandparents, parents, uncles, aunts, cousins, siblings, everybody, nieces and nephews and he has it all set up and he's got this whole package and it's wrapped up everything fine and he comes there tomorrow and he sees the whole thing is all it's not the way I left it. So he said, yeah, things happen. I win the chef. He goes, digs up, nothing there. What happened? No documents. He tells his family, I'm sorry, it was a big mess up. I don't know. And it turns out that he finds out just a few days later, somebody told him, this guy, your Chavrusa. Yeah, I'm looking for him for a few days. Yeah, he went to America. How do you know? Because he went to this place. He told somebody he's going here, there, there. From there, he's going to America. And then a few weeks later, he found out the guy's in America. How did the guy get there? With his documents. And what happened to the whole family? The whole extended family? Everybody got murdered. Everybody was killed out. Only this one person came to America and started all over again. And this is Zainab. So she looks at him bewildered, and she says, in bewilderment, she says, Sadie. So he's a Retzeach. He's a murderer. He's a Raidif. You can say that. So you still nodded to him? The minimum spit in his face or to put a bullet through his head. He murdered your whole family. So the Zayda said, he didn't murder. Hashem, for some reason. Could I approve what he did? No. Was I upset? Of course. Did I forgive him? I can forgive. I can forgive what he did to me. I can't forgive for all the people that perished, that were murdered. Total nonsense. Total nonsense. I have many people that came to Lvov throughout the last 30 plus years. And they come as if the Shana mentioned and the Feinschmeckers, and they come and they say, I forgive them. They come to the families. You could forgive. What? They killed you? They killed your family. They have to go to them. I'll never get to them. They're going straight to Gehenna. And if these families, the Kedoshim on Gan Eden, you can forgive for somebody else. Who gave you the authority? I heard somebody told me last week, 2 weeks, or whatever, there was a Levi of I forgot his name, Charlie Kirk. So his wife, the wife said, I forgive you for the murderer, the murdered husband. What nonsense. Total nonsense. First of all, only Hashem can forgive, all the victim can forgive. You can't forgive. You can say, I forgive you for leaving me without a husband, almana, a widow. And you believe that they forgive. Baloney. It's just like in their religion, they have here's another cheek to hit me in the second cheek too. Total nonsense. From the whole religion. You can forgive what somebody did to somebody. They didn't do it to you. So yes, you're bereft of the whole family. That part you can forgive if you have it within you. But to forgive for a crime that they did to somebody else, who are you to forgive? It's just words. It's words. Yom Kippur is not about words. It's only actions. Only actions. So this Zayda, made out of metal, I mean, not physical metal, because physical metal is way too weak for that. Spiritual metal, he had it in himself, his part to forgive. And he said, what am I going to do? Did I bring anybody back? Hashem did it. And I believe Hashem did it. He has his reasons. And I'm not rushing to know why. And he made shalom that whatever is, I have the authority to forgive, I forgive. And she says, but how could you? He says, you have no idea how it was over there in the Holocaust. They turned us into animals. We were just thinking about food the whole day. Everything we saw was food. Human beings, things, food, everything was, where can I get my next food? You have to understand his Nisoyan. His Nisoyan was greater than any Nisoyan we could ever understand. Now, nobody's forgiving that Nisoyan. Nobody is condoning it. We condemn it in the deepest sense, but the being greater. So she says, but I don't understand. How could you do it? And this is the main point of the story, what I understood. The grandfather, in essence, is saying, when the Jewish nation contradicts the desire of the Jewish nation, contradicts my personal desire, the Jewish nation wins. When Hashem's desire sort of contradicts with my desire, his desire wins. That's what it means when I'm free to choose that. To choose that, no, you trump over your will trump my wills. You win when your interest doesn't collide with my interest. I'm sorry, don't coincide with my interest. When it collides and it doesn't coincide, you win. That's what Yom Kippur is all about. The teamwork, the bigger picture. It's plural. It's very late. Let me just drop more. I want to remind you another story. The koyach of forgiving. The koyach of forgiving. And Maver amidoises mavin menu of. There was this bacher. It's Israel. I don't know. Bnei Brak, wherever it was. Something triggered. I don't know what he did. Who he got upset. But apparently, the big knacker of the class that has control of the whole class, the Melech HaKitah, in the Mesivta, the Yeshiva Ketana, apparently he didn't like that the guy didn't ask him, it didn't this and that. So he tried to ruin the guy's life, and it didn't work this time. So he was terribly upset. He got the whole class to do something, a prank. So when the boy comes out about 10 o'clock at night, whatever they finished the Seder, so there was construction right next to the yeshiva, and they come down the steps and they come out, and you have construction there, and you have building materials, you have all schwarz, it's muddy, it's terrible. And there was a tremendous big puddle over there, and it was right after the rain. And everybody would try, would avoid that puddle because you don't want to ruin your shoes and your pants. And so they would walk on the side in one place over there, like a little higher up, and that would sort of get you away from the water. So there was narrow, total narrow place of literally 30 centimeters, 1 foot, and people would squeeze on the side, and they would wait for that oncoming people to walk through, and then it would go. Okay, and when it didn't rain, there was more rain. There was a muddy puddle over there, deep, I don't know what, a half a foot, a foot. So they went and hid the 30 Bachram of the class, hid in the dark over there behind the materials. And then the guy had his foot ready that when this Bacher goes on that place, he stuck his foot out, and it was dark enough that the Bacher didn't see. And he tumbled over right into that water with his hat smashed, totally muddy, his glasses smashed, his jacket, his suit, everything. The once white shirt was totally black. He ruined the shoes. He ruined everything. All the papers of his notes, everything. The problem, it wasn't a mistake. Everybody burst out laughing, and this guy, this Rosh Marusha, he was it felt he was beaming from Nazis of what he just did. This total, total, total cruelty. This unbelievable. This Bach was so in shock. He just grabbed his glasses and his hat and his few papers, all wet, soaking, and he ran back into the yeshiva because everybody's laughing. He couldn't handle that. There was a guy walking by and sees the scenery, and he thought the guy's going to take his life. I mean, it was that bad. So he runs after him inside, and he falls on the floor and is crying and crying. And he's trying to calm down, but nothing happening. How could you calm the kid down? And he's trying to tell him, it's terrible, but you'll see Hashem, nothing work. After a few minutes, he tells him, "Look, ich bin nicht mekan. I can tell you one thing for sure. Those who hurt you like that, but especially embarrassed you like that, I don't even want to think. I don't want to even know what Hashem is going to punish them. I mean, the fact that it's going to be that harsh, like a million times more than you got just now, that's for sure. That's not even a question. But I have a bakasha. I really, really, I never saw somebody being so embarrassed. I never saw such vicious, such cruelty in my life. So here's the thing. I have a sister that can't find a shidduch. She's over 40. She can't find a shidduch. If you can do me a favor and bless her, and I have one very close relative also late, I can't remember what his wife's sister or his, I don't know, brother's wife, very close, that's almost dying from cancer. And the doctors gave up hope. And she has a few kids at home. They're going to be Yisaimin. Please, please give me these two brachas. I'm telling you, you can. Yeah, it's such pain. Nobody ever had such pain and boosters like you had. If you give these brachas, that's it. You have. I'm telling you, please, you can save the world. And that spoke to him somehow. And he gets up and he says, "You know how much pain I am." He says, "That's why. Nobody was ever in such pain like you. So please, please use that energy. You have such power now. You can either curse the person or you can binge and you give my sister of 40 something years old. So the Bacher said, okay, okay, okay. He took a deep breath and he told him the name and he gave him a hand. They wish that all my pain should go for this, for this, for your sister to become a color with a good zibuk, hogun, b'toiv, b'nokel, b'nachas, b'simcha, and with hatzlach. And then he says, one second, I asked you for that also. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's the name? And he says she should have her a foolish language. The mother should be able to come back to her poor little kids that is so yearning for the mother. And he gave the bracha with the ganze hearts. And for the first time in a few minutes, his eyes started to gleam. A little light, a little light. It's totally radiant. But you see a little shine, shine. No smile, but shine. And the boy sits there and he says, they're really, I mean, I cannot imagine the pain they're going through, right? And he sat and spoke about it, that they suffered very good people. And the kids, what do you mean the kids are going to be Yisraelim? And he distracted the kid and he calmed him down. And he said, you can go already. I feel much better. The boys left by then. 2 days. That means that night, not the next day, but the following day, the girl gets a shotgun calls up. They found this most amazing shidduch. Within a week or two, she's engaged. The lady it was no hope. Within a week, she was out of the hospital, just like that. That's what you hear. That's exactly what happened. She walks out of the hospital back home to her kids. She was embarrassed to the kids to see her like that, because she thought she's dying. But she got back color in her face. She got back. She started to eat. And she was replenishing and rejuvenating slowly. And so within a week or two, when the guy becomes when the lady, his sister becomes a kala, he goes back to the yeshiva and he's looking for the boy. And they say, "Who are you looking for?" You know, the boy that was embarrassed. Oh, him. I don't know. Did he come back? Was he b'chal here? I don't know. After that, he probably didn't come. No, somebody said he did come back. Yeah, where was? I didn't pay the big yeshiva. So somebody showed him, and he goes over to the bach and he says, "You remember me?" Yes. I gave you a brach. Instead of holding the sinner, I forgave. Well, I didn't approve it, but I forgave them. Spiritually, I forgave them. I don't hold a grudge. So what's going on? He says, I'm inviting you to the bar. Tonight is the L'chaim. After the Seder, please, you're the whole hero. And he comes to the L'chaim. And the brother of the sister makes a whole big deal about him. He already told everybody, and they boosted his confidence. I mean, he was a changed person after that. He became he's the hero. He changed the world. He saved the world. You know how many happy people are there? There's over 200 happy people thanking him. You're the hero of the generation. The same time, there's another Suda Saidar. Suda Saidar, another 100, 200 people, and they bring him in. He's saved. Look at all these kids. They would have been Yisayimim. And Yisayim he's a hero. What Tzaddikim couldn't do, he did. The little felt of his what. So in yeshiva, they heard that this guy, he came to the chassan of this guy. He was totally mamish. Like everybody's already fighting over him for shidduch. He's too young still, I still another 2 years. I'm only 17. I don't go to shidduch until 19. The kids are the whole yeshiva heard about what's cooking in the street and the news. He became the biggest hero in yeshiva, the most popular guy. Everybody loves him. Everybody wants to surround him. Look, I've got sisters too. If you know what I'm saying, I'm not saying anything, but have it in my mind. And he got a whole list of people to daven for. So give the power of forgiving. It's not about me. It's the bigger picture. I just want to finish with this story. You have a person. I'll give it a category afterwards. You'll see why. You have this kid in the class. I mean, when they gave out brains in Kamine, probably he was distracted. When they gave memory, they asked. When they gave out, the chalik of being studious, no, it wasn't about him. When they gave out having patience, no. And when they gave that about being calm and being measured and balanced, it was not about him. So, like within 5 minutes, the Sefer and the Hoy, the Rebbe's already chap right away who they're dealing with, and that's Rachel Batala. He's a good kid, very good natured kid, a lovely kid. Him and studies, So everybody made him gabba. Go to the office and get the magic mind, get this, get tape, get that, send them all over. And then they knew he couldn't sit more than 2 minutes. And the kids said the first three classes, but then we got ready Gemara and he got already Rashi Toises and Ken is sits and he's jumping around, shaking his feet. And one Rebbe came and said, "No, I'm not going to have it. What Gabor? I don't have Gabor. I'm not fearing Tisha B'Av. What's going on here? You're going to learn." The kid said when he couldn't learn. So Chumash Rashi, still passed. Mishnah is still passed. Osher to Gemara Rashi passed. But now he's going with the Mefarshim. This Rebbe said, "No, Bamir, everybody's going to learn. If you won't learn, you'll grow up to be a Ores. If you're a Ores, you're a low life. And you're a low life, you're nothing, and you won't have a life." The kids and the Rebbe started to have a marocha, a fight with him, as if to say, Rebbe could be his grandfather. No, his and he fought him and fought him and fought him and fought him, and he graded him. And he every day made fun of him. You amount to nothing. You'll be a nobody. Who's gonna marry you? Who's gonna Bechlal want to have to do with you? Your mom is just going if you don't know anything, even in business world, it's he embarrassed him so badly. He sat there in the corner, totally away from everything. He was disattached from this world because the bushes that he got in that he endured like even him of that the whole year. And to recover wasn't easy. Yeah, he came to see with other rabbis were nice, but fast forward, I don't know how many years. This guy became Chabayirim or Shomrim and all the other whatever ims. And of course he became Atzula. Now he didn't have so much knowledge of the reading part of it. So he took oratory and the kids it's a Galen. Turns out that in advance he was very talented. It turns out that everything besides being studious, he was very talented. So he compensated by not knowing how to read well, but he knew how to do other things well. And guess what? He became a very popular Atzal member. And every time everybody gave up, he didn't give up. And every time they finished, they said it's nothing. That's it. It's done. It's done. It's gone. I mean, it's a waste of time. And he would pump and pump and pump. He never and all his ADHD came about, and he was just energized like nobody before. And it was like, oh, yes, it doesn't pay. Don't tell him anything. He's going to continue on for an hour. I'm telling you. We know him. See, you don't know. I'm telling you. It comes to one call, and this is already an elderly person, and they gave up. They pumped for 10, 15 minutes, going. And he didn't he didn't stop. They just walked away. And he kept on going another 5 minutes, another 5 minutes. And they say, no, no, come on, come on. It's not a young kid, the elderly person. I said, it's not going to happen. That's it. You don't make up the time. Hashem does. And they're trying to get off, Lazar. No, 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 no. And he's going on 5 minutes later, 20 minutes after they started, and he's still going strong. And just 2 seconds after that, I think there's a pulse. Another, he's breathing. He brought him back to life. Everybody turned around in shame. The Groisim Avinim, the paramedics. That guy's not a paramedic, but he saved the guy's life. And they bring him to the hospital and they pump and pump. Everybody's crazy in this poll. But that's a gewaltige Haaretz, a gitte Haaretz. A good guy. Suda Seidah, they invite this guy to the Suda Seidah. He comes to the Suda Seidah, and the first time he sees the color in the person, and he sees the guy totally live and well, and you know what he sees? He sees behind this white beard, he used to be a black beard. This was that Rebbe that ruined his life. This was that Rebbe that told him he amounts to nothing and never anything will ever come out, some of it. And he broke down crying, and nobody chapped. So they said, "What's the matter?" So he said, "I can't. Private. I want to talk to the Zayd over here." So he went to the side room in his house, in the Zayd's house, or whatever house it was, and he told him, in a few decades, it kills me. You told me I'm going to amount to nothing. What do you mean? You were that Rebbe that ruined my life. What do you mean? And he told me, remember there was a Bach, a hyper ADHD running around like crazy? And you fought with me the whole year and you made fun of me and you degraded me and you said you amount to nothing, nothing good will happen to you. And right now is the turn for the old man to cry. He started to cry. It's like top of the cup, and he lost his color, and he was almost passing out. And he says, "No, no, 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 please, please!" And he started to he brought something to get back to himself. And the Rebbe couldn't believe it. The old Rebbe couldn't believe it. The once upon a time Rebbe. So it's this kid out of everybody that saved my life. He begged. He fell on him. Please forgive me. I did the worst thing in the world. I didn't know what I was thinking. I thought I was doing the right. Oh, Chumvei, Chumvei. He cried for a few minutes, and then they want to go out because everybody's waiting. So they come out totally bald. And everybody says, "What happened?" So the lady says, "Let's sit down and I'll say the story." He said the whole story. After the story, he said, "This guy doesn't have a small brain. It's just that Hashem gave him a heart way bigger than all of us can ever handle. He has the right brain. It's just he has a heart way bigger than all of our hearts put together." And he said the whole story. I mean, with all this, the negativity on himself, and he says he's asking the rabbin to forgive him, and he wants to pass him the story so everybody in that class or everybody that ever saw him degraded him should know that he's asking the rabbin mechila, he's asking for forgiveness. Please forgive me, please forgive me, please forgive me. And he cried, and the whole place is crying. The whole hall is crying. You can never know the guy that you think will amount to nothing. That's the guy that's going to give you life to enjoy the kids and Einiglich and do Einiglich and everything. And he lived on for a nice few years. This young man, that Tzilla member, forgave him. The koich of forgiving, just imagine he comes to Shemayim, what awaits for him. What awaits for somebody as I said, good to heart, not only Benodin Makkah. So you have the two Avedas that always haunt us. The Aveda of Benodin Makkah is the Hegel, and Benodin Aveda is the Yosef selling. He's selling the material series is selling, his brother selling him. So we have to take both of them together and beg and plead Hashem, please. I want the whole world, including you, and Rosh Hashanah, all and Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur is not only plugging in like Rosh Hashanah, coming back home. Yom Kippur is take off all the things, all the layers and layers and layers that keep us so heavy down, and we can't produce, and we can't function, and we can't be fulfill our missions. So I just one liner. First of all, I'm whoever listens to that, I want to ask them for Masila, please be mindful of me, and take on even a little thing, just a little thing. One line a day, one word a day, 365 with the leap years, with the Shana Muberis, you get roughly 365 days. If you learn one new taich, one new word every day in families from Davening, from Tehillim, from Aramaic language in the Gemara, you're Talmud Chacham 1 year, 365 words of Talmud Chacham. 365 words. Halacha a day. A little something a day. If you can learn Daf Yomi, Matayv Manar, but one little thing. add on. You don't know something by heart. Birkas Ashiyotza, Boydin the Foshes Allah Michya, Brit Shmei, Moedim Darabonin, whatever it is, one line a day, one word a day of Balper, so you can know it, so you can join in the crowds without running to a Sid if you don't have. Avadi you should say in the Sid, but not always you have that possibility. So one little thing a day, and then you go, you tell the Rebbeinu Shalom with that little thing, I'm growing, I'm in growth mode. That will bring a gula. I just want to finish with this little anecdote. It's not an anecdote even. It's a kasha in the teretz. Could you tell Hashem, ja, to mochlen Yisrael, no, mochlen shifty schon, ja, to solchen Yisrael, mochlen shifty schon, gedode, maar dat in melch v'selech eloto, Baruch at Hashem, Hashem forgives. Could you say, forgot the Lashon, Maverick had to say, and the kids you forgive, it fails me. I didn't see it since last year. Um, Shona, I can't remember. So, so brachal of how do you know it's going to happen? You're thanking Hashem for being moichel you, and how do you know it's going to happen? Maybe Hashem won't cleanse you because you have to show up. You have to come in. So how could you say the bracha? Thank you Hashem for being moichel me, giving me a good year. How do you know it's a good year? So there's a little anecdote. The little kid comes to the father, and he sees a beautiful candy. There's the only thing over there. There's books, there's other things, but there's one candy, and he loves that candy. It's very a prized candy. And he says, Tati, can I have the candy? And the father says, what for? You earned it? No. I told you if you do that, you didn't do it, so you don't get a candy. I prepared, I wanted to give it to you. You know. So what does the kid do? A yeshiva kid. So he screams out, no, it's a hefsek. What does the father do? Take the candy. It shouldn't be a brachal of atala because of me a brachal of atala. So, in essence, we're telling Hashem, thank you for good year. Thank you for being moichlas. Thank you for cleansing us. And Hashem says, if I don't cleanse him, then because of me, he's lying. He made a brachal of atala. He said my name. So I'll give him a good year, a good machsim, and a good gevensha. Thank you very much.